So today I would like to show you the difference between an Expedition Upfitter acrylic window and a nondescript Chinese purchase from Alibaba cheap window. This video is not meant to say anything bad about other manufacturers, by no means, but there's this big misconception that every single acrylic window coming from China is the same quality, and it's just not the case. So let's start out with the first overall impression. At first glance, the windows look exactly the same. I chose two of the same cutout size at this point. Both have aluminum frames, both have a rubber seal to weather seal everything from the outside. To this stage, everything looks totally okay. Nothing raises any concerns. Both are protected with a plastic film for shipping. That's great too. But let's turn everything over and show you the actual difference between the two different manufacturers. So there's an obvious difference between the handles. I mean, this is up to debate which ones are better. I personally like these ones better because they just feel better in your hand. But anyhow, this is like personal opinion. Then the knockoff or the cheaper window only has friction struts. So these ones are sticky, right? They don't open as easy, and if they lose their friction, the window won't stay open for you anymore. So I'm not a big fan of them, but they may do the job for first little while. These ones have indentations. So it means you have a couple of preset openings for the window, and parts are easily available. Same with everything else on this window, it's easily available. So, but now the biggest difference, and that's what got me really concerned in the first, when I installed the first one of these, is that both use clamping rings, like inner rings like these ones. This goes on the inside of the camper, and then the window is being put in from the outside and it's being wedged together and held in place with some screws. So the X-Up windows, there are nut inserts, like you use proper machine screws to tighten both together without having the risk of stripping these ones out. So it's a solid connection and easily be taken out and putting back in if you need to without over torquing anything. So now with the cheaper version, you get those sheet metal screws and you get pretty much the same trim ring. I mean, there are only so many manufacturers out there that make those aluminum profiles, so they're all roughly the same in terms of that. But you will get those sheet metal screws that go through there into the actually frame of the window. And in my experience, if you over torque them, you lose all that clamping strength, and they could possibly leak. So yes, they probably do the job, but there's a lot more complication involved with that and possible failures. Putting that ring back on, both fit just fine, right? They will both do the job, but I think the biggest difference is really machine screws versus sheet metal screws with the window assembly and the install. So in the next video, I will explain the difference between the blind screens.